Hello. Good evening. My name is Obin Dalko. I want to share with you time exchange. Time exchange. Time is about the gift that all of us have equal share every 24 hours. Every day we are gifted with time. Life is an exchange of time, whether we win or we lose. Everything that we see in this life is an exchange of time. And what we put in this 24 hours a day is actually what we are becoming. The knowledge that we have mastered, the skills, the expertise that we have, they are as a result of the time that we traded. If you are going to build a business, it's going to take an exchange of time. The character that we have is an exchange of time, good or bad. Our relationships are time trade-off. Our finances are actually trade. Our finances are the knowledge, the financial knowledge that we have is an expression of the time that we exchange. Good evening. Our network is creating trouble, but let's see. Tonight I'm talking about time exchange. Time is about the gift that we all have in equal volume, in equal share. It's 24 hours a day. Every human is trading this time for the life that they get to live. Life is about exchange of time. Because life itself is time exchange. From the day you were conceived in your mother's womb to the day you were born, whatever that you do, from the day you were born to the day that you are out of here, is a trade-off of time. Everything that we see in this life is time exchange. And so the product that you see, somebody traded his or her time to produce that product. The knowledge that we have, somebody you traded the time that you have to acquire that knowledge. The skills, the expertise, the professionalism that you have, the career that you have built is an exchange of time. And so the more you are conscious of time and how valuable it is, the more you are able to strategize your life well. If you're going to build anything with your life, you are going to trade time to build that thing. Your character that you have, whether you are an honest person or dishonest, whether you are hardworking or lazy, whether you are a supportive person or a person who destroys, that philosophy that you have with your life is an exchange of time. You traded your time to get that. The finances that we have, the financial knowledge that we have, all the kind of knowledge that we have, whether you are a security expert, whether you are an engineer, a farmer, whatever expertise that you have traded time to have them. So time is like the money that you load on the card. We get to spend them, and once they are spent, you don't get to get the same time back. And so that is why you look back the other time and you were 20 years, and now you're 25, and you're looking for the 5 years and you can't find it. You look back and you were 20 and now you are 70 years, and you are trying to track what happened. Because memory is for me, one of the things I've identified is that memory is actually timeless. This is what I mean. You can remember when you were just in primary 5, just like that. So there's not really time in memory. So once time is spent, it's squeezed. You can project the next 20 years and you blink and it has come. And that's why some people who did not plan their lives, who did not strategize, get a bit disturbed when they see that they are just 40 years, they are 50, they are 35, and they look back and it's not the life that they wanted. Why? Because of the way they use their time. And so tonight I'm talking about time as an exchange. Is the commonest currency that we all have, and we are all trading it to build the life that we want. Today I was talking to a friend, and he works in a very top organization. He was saying it's just a number, and we were talking, and some of them have worked for maybe 15 years, maybe 10 years, and they feel like they all want to start business, but what do they do? Because they feel like the where they work is more regimented, it's predictable. They look at the structures and they can't see how they will become the manager with a big portfolio in the soonest of time. And so they are looking at what they understood in school and what the life that they are facing. You see that there's not much. They don't correlate. And so he was saying that there is so much that the school did not put in us. Normal boys discussion. Then I also said, I think that when you are in school, you believe so much in the school, and you tend not to fidget with anything. And we tend to even carry the same thing to our children. So when your child is not paying attention in school, you get to worry so much, because you think that when the child is successful in school, then they will be successful in life. But if you have seen it, those who are able to go after their dreams beyond the one which is a defined path for everybody are those who are disruptors, so to say. Those who are able to go against what is known. Those who are able to build courage and pursue anything are those who are able to not so much intelligent, so to say, in terms of school models. And so we were talking, and he said that he thinks nobody starts business with a good plan, and just so happens. And I said, yes, it's true. It may seem to be true. But I also think that even though you may not have started that goal, that business, consciously, you were just fidgeting, you were just trying something and you started. But if you backtrack your life, you see that you traded your time for some kind of information. That's why at that point that you had to start the business, you started. If you did not put any investment in time, the time that you had to start that business, you could not have started. So consciously or unconsciously, when everybody else was doing something else, getting good marks in school, not reading any book outside the course, being very focused on the school, not trying anything, you who started business while in school or right after school or maybe some years after school, there were some things that you put in those time. That is why you were able to start the business that you started. So it's a trade-off. It's not just that We will just jump one day and start a business. It's never so. It's more of what you have been placing in time that you have, in the time that you have. That is predicting the life that you are living now. So nothing is just by chance. That whether you work as a manager, whether you work as a civil servant, as a police officer, as a soldier, as a politician, as a business person, it's not just something that just pop up. Consciously or unconsciously, you have been trading your time for this. And so when it concentrated, you just got into that. So it's not like, oh, we are all here, we are all thinking of starting a business. The courage to start a business would have come from all the information, all the experiences that you gathered over these years. That's why you were able to start the business that you started. The courage to become whatever that you are doing now, whether you're happy with it or you're not happy with it, is the time that you consciously traded for that kind of thinking or philosophy or competence, or you did not. So it's not you just jump, even though it's sometimes those who start business will say that, oh, I didn't know what I was doing, it just happened, which is true at that particular as to what business we're doing. But in terms of you being the person to start that business, I will not say that it just happens. It does not just happen. When your friends were watching football, your friends were playing, your friends were partying, one way or the other, you were selling something, you were reading some business book, you were watching some motivation videos, you were listening to some business seminar. Those things that you've been doing, consciously or unconsciously, they culminate to shape the decisions that you make at a certain point in your life. So, and it's all time that you traded. So my name is Obed Alko. I am talking about time exchange. And when people get to a stage in their life that they feel like they are frustrated, what can console them is that they did not trade their time for the life that they should have had. And so if they are going to change the future, then you have to sit down consciously and see what you are putting in the time that you have going forward, because it was not just going to happen. You're not just going to be a medical doctor. You're not just going to be a doctor. You're not just going to be a business person. You're not just going to be anything that you plan your life to do. It's a trade-off of time. That school that you went, you had that 4 years to be in that school, and that's why they gave you that certificate. So it's life. You are not just going to become a business person, an entrepreneur, and being successful just like that. No, it's a trade-off. It's something that you've been putting in your life. And so if you don't put anything in your life, then you don't expect anything to happen in your life, because it's all the most successful business people, the most successful people around the globe. They are successful because they traded their time well, at least at a certain point. Maybe not the measure of the success, because sometimes the success may baffle them, may go beyond what they could conceive at the time of starting. But the force that started it was not just something that just happened. It's something that they've been trading their time for. That's why they get to that point that you see that it's a force. It pushes you. So you did not write that book because you just wanted to write a book. No, you've been reading books. You've been you've been a student of knowledge. That's why you are producing a product of knowledge. You're a student of food. Let's say you're a footballer. You maybe the people who are playing the Premiership. They're not just playing the Premiership just from yesterday. They've been trading their time to exercise, to play, to play in their village park, and then they got to the city, and then they got to the Premiership, So every one of us, whatever that we are doing with our lives today, is a trade-off of time. It's a trade-off of time. It's not like somebody was shortchanged or something. So my what I'm talking about today is about time exchange. Time is the gift that we all have. It's 24 hours every day for us. At least we can count on the day. And so if you're at 50 years, it's just 24 hours times 50, That's the hours that you have spent, at least on this earth. So life is an exchange, whether successful life or not so successful life. Everything that we see in this life is a trade-off of time. Anything that we enjoy, the food that we enjoy, the cook, the choba that you went, they traded time to prepare that food for you. That food that you bought is a trade-off of time. Everything that you see, the TV, the slippers, everything that you see, somebody else sat down, used their time to conceptualize it, modeled it, sent it to the factory. It's all trade off of time. 24 hours, people are using their time to bring services and products into life. Nothing just comes from nowhere into this life. So what we put in this 24 hours is what is showing what we are becoming, whether you're conscious of it or you're not conscious of it. The knowledge that we have acquired, whether it's strong knowledge or weak knowledge, productive knowledge or not so productive knowledge, is a trade-off of time. Whatever that we have built culturally, politically, economically, philosophically, in everything that we have built as a group of people is actually a trade-off of the composite time that we have as a group. So whether we've been successful at it or we have been failing at it, it is the trade-off of time, which means that we can change the results for tomorrow if we trade the time well. So if you're going to build a business, it's going to take you to trade your time. When everybody is sleeping, you are talking to people. When everybody is sleeping, you are reading books. When everybody is sleeping, you are learning. When everybody is sleeping, you are strategizing. When everybody is sleeping, you are doing something. Everything that any of us is doing is a trade-off of time. So how good we become at it is how much quality we have put in the time that we have. So your character is a trade-off of your time. If you're a good person, it's what you have to use your time to train to become. If you're a bad one, it's the same. Your relationships, whether good or bad, how you treat people, is a trade-off of time. That which you use your time to build has become you. The finances that we have, those who have very good finances and those who don't have that much good finances, is all trade-off of time. The knowledge that you had financially first, and even the courage that you have, is a trade-off of time, because courage is as a result of information. So you traded time to have that courage. So there's not much that any of us is shortchanged when it comes to coming into this life. All of us. Yes, there are levels, and there are levels because much of it is because we are hesitant to go to a certain level. So we get comfortable with some level of achievement, and then we say that is what we think that nature offered us. No, it's a trade-off of time. If you're ambitious, it's a trade-off. Somebody along the line help you to be ambitious, or somebody along the line help you to be fearful. So the trading of our time, the best form that we trade our time, or the best thing that we can trade our time to get, is to be able to find the reason that we are alive in the first place. The reason that we are alive in the first place. What is that your life is about? If you're able to define that, you'll be able to use your time rightly. Because none of us is going to live 1,000 years or 200 years. Those who live maybe 100, are the ones who are doing more. Now people are even dying far early, maybe 30, So which means that 30, 40, a lot of people have gone. And yet people can achieve a lot in this life if they put a lot in the time that they have. So the earlier you know what your life is about, you will be able to know how to use your time well. Because if you say let's say you're a carpenter, you will use your time to develop that gift more. You will not use your time to train as a footballer, because you've been able to define that I am a carpenter. This is what I want to do with my life. And so you're not going to the field to spend 10 hours every day training as a footballer, knowing that it's carpentry that your life is about. That's what you think you have, and that's why you think you can contribute to this life. That thing that you're able to decide that your life is about separates you from a lot of waste of the time that is so precious. So people who waste time that much are not they don't have clarification or clarity as to what to do with their life. That's why they waste a lot of time. The moment you are sure of what your life is about, the moment you are sure of what you're doing with your life, that point, that time becomes precious to you. So if you're a business person, for instance, and you decide that I'm going to build a business, when the others are doing some things, you don't want to do them. Why? Because you know what you have to do for you to become successful at that business that you're building. So you use your time to find your gift as well, your gift, your passion. What is it that gets you going? What is it that you have the mind to develop? Not that you cannot become everything. You cannot become everything. Every one of us is gifted differently. So you have got to trade your time to find that which you are very gifted in. It does not necessarily mean what you were trained in school. What is it that you know that you do easily? What is it that you don't get tired reading about? What is it that you like talking about? What is it that you see? You move with friends and you are seeing this particular thing and they are not seeing it. It's likely that is that which you were gifted to do and to contribute to this life, and they are in line actually with your vision in this life. So when you are going to use your time to find the reason why you were in the first you were sent here in the first place, and you are going to trade your time to find that gift that you have, the talents that you have, and then you are going to use the same time to develop the talent, because the talent is in the raw state. It's like finding any mineral in the soil. It's in the raw state. They are able to refine they're able to polish the diamond. They're able to do all those things that they do to them by the knowledge that they have, the development, the training, the preparation that they go through. So every one of us is gifted. The difference is that the refined one is the one that has gone through some level of value addition, some level of processes, and that's what life gives you. All of us are gifted. You could be a very good footballer. If you don't get the right teachers, the right environment, the right coach, your skill as a footballer will not take you anywhere. You could be a very gifted surgeon, a very gifted orator. If you don't get the right training environment, the right training tools, the knowledge, the exposure, then your talent will become nothing, because every one of us has talent anyway. So what really matters is not so much the talent. Once you have identified the talent, the next is, how do you develop this talent? How do you polish this talent? How do you refine this talent? That is what is going to get the difference as to the results and the productivity that you have got to do with your time, with your life. And that will require the use of time. Because if you're a business person, you have got to train that gift. If you cannot train as a business person with the tools of a footballer or a boxer. So the business person, you have got to train with how to lead your team, how to study the business that you are in, the economic environment. There's a lot, the finances, the systems, the visions that you are going to set. Who are the people who are teaching you? Those who have gone before you. Who are you learning from? What is it that you give your time to? That is a trade-off of time. So if you don't know how to use your time well in terms of you upgrading the vision that you have, the talent that you have, then you will just waste that time that could lift you to a higher productive life. So all of us are gifted. All of us are gifted. So you use your time to upgrade your talent, your business, your expertise, that which you are passionate about, that which you think that your life is about. Every one of us has some level of professionalism, some level of a career, some level of something that we have committed our life to do. How you are going to be good at is how you are learning that thing, how you are practicing. The people, especially the sports people or the musicians. If you look at Shatta Wale, for instance, I'm sure a lot of the time he's training, he's in the studio rapping. That's why he gets to put out a song and people want to buy, and he gets to put another song and people want to buy. The footballers who are scoring, they are trading the time to. They know that they are good footballers. They have the gift, but the precision only comes from the upgrade they add to the talent, and that is going to take the trade-off of time. When we are all sleeping, he's on the field training. When we are dancing, he's on the field singing, training his voice, getting his lyrics, writing his music. Go to the studio. The best pianists, they are training when the others are sleeping. So the difference between men really is the trade-off of the time, because we all have gift, we all have talent. We all have gift, we all have talent. And the talent is one thing about the people that we have sent to school. And that's why the people we send to school become just average in this life. If you look at it, the majority become just average in this life, because we don't trade time beyond the school knowledge, beyond the profession that the school gave us. A lot of us are just average because we just put in barely enough to get paid. That's why a lot of people don't become experts in their field. That's why a lot of people don't get results. That's why a lot of people don't get growth. Because that knowledge first did not come to them. That if you are going to be an expert in this field, if you are going to be a very good manager, a very good CEO, a very good finance person, if you're a very good engineer, you cannot behave like all the others. When they are sleeping, you are trading your time to get the best of knowledge. You are reading, you're researching, you're on the field working, and that's how people build the expertise, the expertise that they have. And that is a trade-off of time. It's not just going to happen from space. No. I believe that in this life, we are all gifted differently, and we are gifted with time equally. The choice is of us. If you know anything about any topic, it's because you have shown enough commitment to learn it. That's why you know anything. If you're a sculptor, for instance, you know something that you have traded your time to do. That's why you are that good. The average sculptor who, or let's say somebody who, like a potter, those who are very good with making, pots, cooler, those things. They are very good. Those who are expertise, they have the expert because they have learned. They have gone through the apprenticeship, and they keep training. Same with anything in this life. Same with anything in this life. And when it comes to business, same. Hardly does it occur to people that when you start a business, it's a craft. And that between now and the tomorrow is going to be the time that you're trading. You cannot put in 2 hours a day in your business and expect to succeed. No matter what you're doing, you have got to put in a lot of hours to succeed. It's just a lot of people try to put a lot of things in the esoteric. They are there, but I don't seem to worry so much about the things beyond the mind, beyond that which I understand. At least I want to master the ones that I can see, the facts and figures. And then I leave the rest for God to handle. So at least use your time to master the one you can handle, the ones that you know. Now, get the basis right. If you are doing business, at least get to understand the finances, the management, the things that move the business, the people. Get to do those things rightly. And I'm sure by the time that you understand a lot of those things, you see that you are way ahead of the milestone that you set for yourself. But usually people just waste the time and then still hope that we will get the results. So if you look at our country, for example, it's the same. We just dissipate the time anyhow, and then we still hope that we will be a very developed, prosperous country. I don't think so. Until we are able to use the time rightly to get productivity. We don't go anywhere. We don't work. Saturday, Sunday, we don't work. Yet we are not so much a developed country. And then the ones that are developed, they are working. They are in the factory working. They are working. The Chinese, they are working. The other ones are working, and those who are going to them to borrow are enjoying the weekends. The weekends we are eating omutuo, drinking, very satisfied with the little that we have achieved, thinking that the whole country will develop. And to a lot of people, the success of the country is their personal success. They don't really care about the boy who does not have anything to do. So it's the trade-off of time between successful companies and unsuccessful companies or struggling ones. Personal, same. Personal life, same. So it's going to take conscious effort of what we are putting in the time. That is going to show what our lives is going to produce. So it's a trade-off of time. Joe, it's a trade-off of time. We just look at what we are putting in the time and what results we are getting. So if you're not putting anything in the time, then nobody should tell us that we are going to succeed. I don't buy that. It's not a consistent, predictive success, progress. We are not going to get that until we have consistent input of quality in the time that we have. So it's not magic. It's or people have proven it. I'm sure Dangote does not sleep like all the other people sleep. They work. They put in quality time. They put in the longer hours. They work. That's why they're successful. So if we are not succeeding at what we are doing, it means that we are not just putting in the required time. The required time for anybody to become any expert in any field. Whether it's football, whether it's law, whether it's politics, whether it's business, whether it's anything, programming, coding, anything. You're not going to put less than, say, 5 years into doing anything, or even double into doing anything and expect to become an expert. So you're not going to put just 5 years in your business and become a success, big success. It's not true. And so when you fail the first year, the 2 year, the 3 year, it doesn't matter. You are still not an expert. You get to the expert when from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you see that now you are very clear as to at least what your business is about, what the product is about, what the market you are developing. As a matter of fact, what kind of person you are, and what is it that you do well, and what is it that you don't do well. You are not going to realize those things just by putting five months into the business, 3 months into the business, 1 year into the business, just trying 1 or 2 businesses that did not go well, and then you think that you have to give up because you are an expert. You are not an expert. You have got to put at least 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, maybe even 10 years for you to become a master, and that is a trade-off of time. And so the most successful that you see, any expert in any field that you see, the consultants who are expert in their field, the surgeons who are very expert, they are the expertise, they can easily predict this. Go, the top people, the religious leaders, everywhere, the politicians who are very good at their game, go and look at the number of years that they have put there. They were trading the time. They're trading the time. So if you are going to be an expert in anything, there has to be that conscious effort to trade the time and gather all the required knowledge that you need in your field for you to succeed. And so it's not just 1 day short, and if you didn't succeed, it means that you have just tried enough. It's not true. You did not put in the required minimum hours to become an expert. And from where I sit, if you tried 1, 2, 3 businesses and you didn't win, even in predictable markets, in well-structured markets, in well-structured economies, people have got to try at least 4 or 5 before they become very good entrepreneurs. And so if you double hours as the economy that we have, and all the factors, the culture, the economy, the people, a lot of things that you cannot depend on, you have to learn them all by yourself. I would say that if you try 6, 7 and you have not succeeded, you still have about 2 more to go. So give up when you have tried about 10 and you didn't succeed. But I'm sure by the time you try about 10 businesses and you have put about 1 year into each, you become an expert and you by all means succeed. So it's not really about you not succeeding. It's really about you not trading the required time into you doing what you're supposed to do. So it's a trade-off. You don't become an expert in anything just by chance. And so you self-educate, acquire the required knowledge beyond the school, what the school knowledge that you have, self-educate, build yourself, train, practice on the field, and all will require the time that you're trading. And so you cannot just use your time anyhow and expect to become an expert in the thing that you're doing, whatever goes, even if it's not business, whatever you're doing. My friend told me the other time that he's a heart surgeon. He's become I think a consultant or something. He's going to write exam and become that. And I know that when we finish school, that's about 2001. That's about 16 years or so. Now he's turning to become an expert. That's about 10 or more years. So now he can become an expert in cardio something. So he's taking him how many? And he's gone through a lot of training, a lot of exam, that's how they become experts in any other field. So what makes you think that you become an expert in business as an entrepreneur just because you just registered a business and open a website? Those are part of the processes, but you're not just going to master the game. Go and ask all the other guys who are doing wonders in business, and they have put in some long hours. Even those in the technology field have put in a lot of hours to succeed. How much more those who are in traditional businesses, so to say, the ones that you are grinding, the construction, the farming, the mining, the retail, brick and mortar kind of business. Those you are going to go through a lot because you're going to depend on people to leverage. So it appears that the more business you have, the more people you are going to employ, which means you have got to develop that human skill, the systems to manage these people and get the best of productivity from them. It's not like just building one website and exploding it, or building one technology product. No, even those, they put in a lot of hours. So you are not just going to master it in a minute or two. You are going to trade a lot of time, a lot of effort to become successful at what you do. And so you cannot just waste time and think that you are going to succeed in that which you have set for yourself. It's never true. It's never true. My friend, you even sometimes when he calls you say, oh no, we have been on our feet doing surgery for 24 hours. Oh God. That's the kind of stress that they go through. And so when you see him and they call him an expert or whatever term that they use, he has traded his time to do. So if you meet the businesswoman who has been in the business for 15 years, don't think that you are just going to beat her. It will take you a while for you to even understand what you're doing. So those are the things that you have got to trade your time to do. That which your life is about, your gift, your business, the one that you have identified, make conscious effort to put in the minimum hours. And the minimum hours are going to take you not less than 5 years to become an expert in whatever field that you are. If you don't know, go and ask Asamoah Gyan, or go and ask ASEAN, or go and ask those who box. Go and ask anybody that you hear their name and ask them what is the minimum number of days, number of years that they have been doing what they are doing. That's why you hear their name and you'll be shocked, the number of hours. And don't go even to ask them all the bad moments, the failures that they had. You'll be amazed, the loneliness and all those that they had to endure before anybody could hear of their name. So you apply the same kind of principles in business, and I think that business is even double tougher. For you to become a good politician, it's nowhere close to you for you to become a very good business person. For you to become a very good musician, is nowhere close to you become a very good business person. Why? Because when the business goes bad, you have financial liability. If you're a footballer and your football did not go well, you don't owe anybody. But if your business goes bad, you would have created a lot of enemies for yourself. So these are some of the things that I think you should put in. To put in the time to develop what you have to develop and to become the kind of person that you have to become. Commit to reading books, quality books. Commit to reading. We are so fortunate that the internet is there. You go to Amazon, you can get a lot of good books. Commit to reading. Read. Get the best of books on entrepreneurship, on business, on innovation, on product, on management, on leadership, on vision, on systems, on structures. Commit to studying. You cannot build the tomorrow that you want to build with this same knowledge. Commit to reading, research, read, Google, buy books on the economy, buy Ghanaian authors, buy things. Go for knowledge, because the knowledge that you're putting in the hours is a trade-off, and that knowledge that you get, nobody can take it from you. You only die with that knowledge. So whatever that you have spent your time to read, to acquire in terms of knowledge, if you have got to go back to school and learn something, you go back to school and learn something, because whatever knowledge that you are acquiring, you cannot even transfer it to your son. Not everything that you can transfer it to your daughter. So your experiences, the knowledge, go for the books, read them. I think that at least read one book a month, at least. If you can do anything at all, one book a month. Subscribe to something. Read. Google. That's how you build the quantum of knowledge that can concentrate to push you onto a path to become an expert. If you meet any expert, it's not just the doing, it's that which is controlling the doing, which is their knowledge. So if you're going to do business and do it well, you have got to go for knowledge. Knowledge is a constant process of learning. And so you commit to trading your time for the knowledge. You need the knowledge for you to be successful as a business person, as whatever you're doing. And you read the books. And then now there are a lot of videos. People are teaching all kind of things. Get to those that you think you can learn from and listen to them. Listen to them. Don't waste your time on a lot of comedy. They are not for you if you're ambitious. You are not going to achieve your ambition if you're using your time as every other person using their time. Never. It's not. The difference is the trading, the time. And so the videos on YouTube, on the internet, you can get a lot of tutorials free of charge. Just cost you something. Charge some bundles and watch something, even if it's 10 minutes a day. It builds you up. Something that can be worrying you for years. Just one knowledge can shift that thing. Your whole perspective changes. That thing that you think that is so difficult to do, somebody has done it. And if you hear those people talk, your mind changes around those things, So this is it. Commit your time to trade for knowledge and read books. Watch videos when everybody, don't say that you're tired. And some people complain so much, I'm tired, I went to work, and your life is not going to, what you do beyond the work is what is going to separate you from the colleagues that you have at the workplace. So when you come home, take a nap and then pick a book, calculate something, go to the internet, watch something. Build the mind that you have. Improve the knowledge. You cannot build the future that you want to build with this knowledge that you have around here. It will not build it, because this knowledge is what is responsible for what we have built as a country, man. So if you think that there's more to develop, it means that this knowledge is not that we can depend on to build the future that we want. So maybe you have a car, you can put a lot of audio in it, and listen, SoundCloud, go to any tape, record something, put it on a pen drive, put it on your phone. Don't just be listening to political talk shows around 2 p.m. In the afternoon. No, what are you doing? You're just listening to music. Some of these guys who are shouting on the radio, no, don't listen to them. I think you can reduce that a lot and put something that is teaching you to become better at what you do, that is motivating you. Even if it's motivation, it will get you to think more, and it's not just about listening to preaching, because it's not what the knowledge that you need to build your business is more than preaching, because you can become a doctor just by listening to preachers. No, you cannot become a very good surgeon just by listening to preachers. No. So if all the things that you're listening to is just about preaching, you're not building yourself as a business person. There's finance, there's leadership, there are systems, there are economics to predict. That knowledge you also need. So you cannot just read books about, David and Goliath and all those, Yes, you're a Christian, once in a while read them, but the knowledge that you need to build your business will go beyond just the religious books that you're reading. You have got to read books to become an expert in the field that you are in. And so if you're a business person, there are experts in this field. Go and learn from them. So I don't think that the guy who is a lawyer who wants to become a very good lawyer is just reading the Bible and reading religious book and listening to preachers only to become a very good lawyer. No. I think that he can add those, but a large percentage of the law, when it comes to the law and the expert that he has to become, he has to build that, because the knowledge is available. So he has to build that, get the basis, then maybe you can live beyond that. A very good professor is not just reading the Bible to go and teach the philosophy in the class or the engineering in the class. He's learning the engineering before he can teach it and teach it well. So if you're going to build your goals, you need the applied knowledge in that field and go for the best. You can they keep updating order for journals in the field. Become the best in your field, and becoming the best in your field has got to do with the update of knowledge that you continue to have. And so it's business, so it's entrepreneurship, and this is going to call for time trading. You're training your time to acquire the best of knowledge in your field. So go for the books, go for the videos, go for the audios, go for the things that will develop your mind, and then that will develop the skill, the doing, exposing yourself to the best in the field. Trade your time to work, and when you go to work, because work is how you prove the worth of your talent, the worth that the investment that you have put in yourself is proven in the work that you do. The results is coming from the work that you do. If you cannot put in the hours to get the work done, I'm not talking of job, I'm talking of work. Work is beyond the job. The job is what you do so that you get the pay, which is good. But the work is that which you do to establish yourself as a human being. The gift that you bless the world with. So if I say that I'm a business person and God gifted me to be an entrepreneur, the hours that I'm putting in this work is what going to make my mark as a human being on this earth. That is what going to establish my influence. And so I don't joke with the work that I have to do. I have to do what I have to do to make my influence. So you could be an employee in any company. That is the job you're doing. If you so believe that that is the gift that you have, then put in those hours. If you don't, then when you go home, put in the hours where you think you are gifted. So that at least you are working for the salary, but you're also establishing your influence with the gift that God gave you. So there is some bit of time that you have, or not some bit of time, there's a lot of time that you have to put in your work to establish your influence beyond the training. Because the boxer trains on the field, but the boxer has got to be in the ring and fight the enemy to win, and that calls for work. So he trained. The footballer trained. Then there's the match. He has to deliver the results. So beyond the training is the actual work that you have to do to establish the results. So the business same. It gets to a point that you have to deliver the results, and that's where the growth comes in, and the growth comes in as a result of the work that you're doing, the conscious hours that you're putting in the work. So if you're not conscious in putting in the hours in the work, then you don't expect growth. You don't expect expansion. You don't expect the blessing. You don't expect that which everybody else is expecting, because you have got to be in the ring and to win the match for you to be crowned. So if you cannot be in the ring to win the match, then that is your fault, not anybody else's fault, because you all have the same amount of time that God has given to us. And so you trade your time to work and work well, and that's how you realize your vision, and that's how you become better. So none of us is cheated in this life, because we are all given the same amount of time, and what we do with this time will establish our difference, our influence, our success. And so different levels of success, they are different. And so no matter where you were born, the family you were born in, the country you were born in, they don't matter. What matters is the moment you become conscious that time is a currency that God has given you, and what you do with it will separate you from everybody else. What you do with your time is what is establishing your difference, how good you are or how bad you are. And so once you have time, then you don't have to become bitter of the successes of any other person. You can always become better by how well you use your time. And so it's a call, it's a decision. If you're 30 years now and you don't like what you're seeing with your life, it means that you did not trade your time well. You cannot blame your parents for that. You cannot blame your brother or your sister, or you cannot even blame the president or the country for the life that you are living. Because whatever knowledge that you have, you traded your time to get that knowledge, and that knowledge and its application has been responsible for the life that you're living. And so if you don't like it, then you have to change the source of information that you get. You have to change the source of knowledge that you have, and then you'll be able to change the quality of your decisions, and then your life will be able to improve. And so you cannot be bitter because others are succeeding and you are struggling. It means that you are not conscious of the fact that we are all given the same amount of time. And even the difficulties that you meet can be surmounted by the quality use of the time that you have, because that difficulty has been overcome by a lot of people. So that difficulty cannot stop you from going at your goals. So my name is Obedako. I am talking about time exchange. In this life, you are all being given the same hours, 24, and the most successful and those who are not that much successful have traded their time. And when I talk of success, not just business success, not just money success, not just fame, I'm talking about that which you have used to change another man's life. That is also successful, because you can have a very successful teacher who may not have money, but he may have encouraged a lot of students, change a lot of destinies. That man is successful at what he has done. You can have a very successful politician who may not have stolen a lot of money, but he made right decisions for the country to get back on track. You can have a very successful lawyer who may not even have money, because the ability to have money and the ability to be successful in your career are different things. Because the life that you are changing is what really success is about. And so you can have somebody with a lot of money, but who is not successful. Why? Because you can meet an armed robber who has money. Does that mean that armed robber is successful? No. He stole, he killed people, and he has that money. And so money per se is not the real definition of success. The lives that you have changed, the destinies that you have turned around, the influences that you have had on people, decide the successes that you have had. And so if you want financial success, then you have got to go for financial success. But success itself is in what you have changed with the work that God gave you, with the life that you have built. So a very good nurse can be successful at where she's working. She's saving a lot of lives, and yet she may not have money. So if she wants to live her life, then she has got to change the financial knowledge that she has. So it's possible to have very successful career without money. You become a very successful, but it's also tough to become a very successful business person without money, I think, because you're trading with money. So success itself in any trade goes beyond just the money. It's the lives that you are changing. It's the lives that you are changing. The lives that you are changing. It's not even just the fame. And so this is one of the ways that you also deal with things that waste time. Unproductive time activities, the comedies, the sports, the entertainment, the occasions, the weddings, the naming ceremonies, a lot of church activities. They kill a lot of time. So if you are going to put in the required hours to build your business, then you have got to know how to use your time when it comes to these things, because the people will expect you to honor every invitation that they give you, and you also have a goal that you have set for yourself. So you have got to master that. You cannot go to every occasion, every wedding, everything, and still have the same minimum required hours for your business to be successful. And so it is your choice. But know that wherever you go to spend time, that is where you are getting results. So you are becoming where you are spending your time. And so if you are going to build your business, then look at the time that you are putting in that business. Whatever profession that you are, whatever call that you are only becoming successful in that because of the time that you are spending in that. You are not succeeding because you are not giving it attention in terms of time. And it's a matter of fact, quality time. So these are some of the time eaters. People go for funeral. People go for all kind of, they can meet some people and talk for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. And what are they talking about? Gossiping about people. There is no idea generation. If you're not generating ideas, productive ideas. I meet people and I'm more interested in what can you give to me for me to become better. I'm not interested in going to talk about that guy and his wife and his children and how they are suffering. I'm not interested in that, in people's mistakes and people's frustration and errors. No, if you have got to meet, we discuss things that are beyond people's personal issues. We are talking of ideas, things that can bring business, things that can change the way I look at life for better. So those are the things that I would want to spend my time on, and that is how you become productive. And so if you have 24 hours and you have 360 something, 365 days in a year, if you use half of those days in a year to do all the partying and all the things that you're doing, and somebody else is using those to acquire knowledge, to work well, to improve themselves, then you are not going to get the same kind of results. So it's a trade-off. So friends can waste a lot of time, especially friends who just are interested in just party and all those things that boys do. If you are only interested in friends like that, you are not sure of your life itself. It means you are in doubt of your life and what it is about. The moment you become conscious of what your life is about, you know how to use the most precious currency, which is the time that you have. So you reduce the movies, you reduce a lot of the waste that you have. You go to the internet to improve yourself, to get things. Not comedy, not jokes. No, it's always not fun. You can have fun, but you can have fun 90% of your life. It's fun and joke and things that don't improve your mind, things that don't make you think. If you're like that kind of person, then you cannot blame anybody why your life is not taking a lot of good shape, because you're always spending your life to do things that will not. It's like somebody who is eating popcorn and expecting to be healthy, and popcorn is the only food that he eats. If you only eat popcorn for 1 month, you can know the status of your health. You become weak, you become fragile, your head will be in bad shape. Why? Because the feed is wrong. And so if you're feeding your time wrongly, then you cannot expect different kind of results with respect to your life. And the people who are able to take on a lot of difficulty and a lot of bad things and keep going are people who have put a lot of quality things in the time that they have. So they have developed themselves. The guy who is the body, those guys who lift the load, the bodybuilders. He has used his time to build his body, so he can easily carry a load. Now, the same time that man is using to build his body, that is his profession. That's fine. But I would want to use that same time to build my mind. And so the man may have his physical body, but his mind may be weak if he's not consciously building his mind. And the other guy who may not have those muscles, who will not obviously be able to carry the load the other guy may be able to carry, would also have built his mind's muscles. And so when life becomes tough, he's able to take on that life. Why? Because he has spent a lot of time to build his outlook of life, his philosophy, the things that explain a lot of things to them. Because people give up, not because situations are difficult, but because they have weak understanding of life, of issues. So some of the things that can waste your life and that can waste your time, comedies, movies, entertainment, a lot of ceremonies, partying, Once in a while you can do those if you can give up on them at all. A lot of religious activities can also waste a lot of your time. That is a fact. And a lot of bad friends can also waste your time. And sometimes people go to school and they never finish. That also can put their vision on hold. Some people have gone to school to get all kind of degrees. They are never finishing. That can also waste your life. By the time you are ready to face life, you're 45, you're 50. How much do you have left for you to become anything significant? So you put in the right things in time to get the best of life. So whatever you are doing is whatever your life is now is as a result of how the quality of the things that you have put in time. So nothing is going to change until you change the way you use your time. Nothing is going to change for the year until you change the way you use your time. And that's why you don't have to be bitter towards any other person who is successful, whether it's their career or their family, their marriage, their business. No, the success that you're enjoying at any other stage in this life is as a result of what you have decided consciously to put in the time. And if you put in the right knowledge, the right application of ethics, then you will see the results. You may not know the level of success that you are going to be, but until you put in the right information from the beginning, you are not going to be that much successful. So I am talking about time exchange. Time exchange is the most precious commodity, your time. The other day I was 20. Just I look back, I was just finishing KNUST. Now I look back, I've gone far beyond that. And what did I put in that time is what I've become. So if I didn't put in anything at all, I've become nothing. If I put in something, I've become something. So the next 10 years of my life is going to change by what I'm going to put in from now going forward. So it's not magic, it's how I'm spending my time. So time is about the gift that we all have in equal measure. We all have 24 hours a day, and what we put in that time is going to decide whether we are going to succeed or whether we are going to fail. The expertise that we are building, the skills, the knowledge, everything that we are building is a trade-off of time. And so everything that you see in this life, somebody traded their time to build it. Everything that you see, somebody spent the time, the same 24 hours to build that thing. And so what are you building? Whatever you're building is going to call for the time. Your time, actually, to get out, to do, to come out with something. So if you're going to build business, it's the same. It's a trade-off of time. And if you're going to be an expert at anything at all, you don't expect to spend less than 5 to 10 years getting to become an expert in anything at all. The best professors, the best surgeons, the best doctors, the best lawyers, the best politicians, the best religious leaders, the most successful sportsmen, they have put in not less than 10 years training, building their expertise. So if you start a business, don't expect that within 1 year, 2 years, you become an expert and explode. It's not going to work. If you see the best ones, some of them have put in 40 years. That's why you hear their name everywhere. And so if you started one and it didn't work, start another one. It didn't work, start another one. It didn't work, start another one. By the time you are in your 10th year, you become an expert, and you see that that's where you get the best of shot. That's why most top business people, you see them, the top chairmen of their own companies, you see them, they are around 65, 70, 80. And most of them get to be billionaires around that time. Why? Because that's when they are operating at their peak. And so if you are going to know how to use your time well, you have got to have a very good character. You have got to be patient. You have got to have the skill to keep developing yourself and establish yourself to go for, integrity, honesty, treat people well. Those things are the things that set the base for you to develop the right tools for you to trade the time and to get to where you want to be. So the best relationships that you're enjoying, you trade the time. That's why you have the best of relationship. If you didn't trade the time well, you don't have those kind of things. Your financial knowledge, which is responsible for your financial success, you have to trade time to get that kind of required financial knowledge. The fact that you went to college does not mean that they give you the right financial knowledge. And that's what people who have gone to college, people who have gone to school, deceive themselves with. They think that they understand money and how it is made. Nobody. If you went to study chemistry in the university, nobody taught you about money. If you went to study engineering in school, even those who did business administration and accounting and those, they only taught you how to work with that information, job, but they did not teach you how to make money. And so you have got to train yourself consciously as to your financial knowledge and how to acquire money, how to multiply it, how to grow it, how to be patient to build a business, how to be patient to build a product, a service, how to be patient to build anything worthwhile. So don't believe so much in the information that they gave you for you to pass your exam. The information that you needed, or the knowledge that is so much needed, is the knowledge that is producing results. If it's not producing results at all, you did not need that knowledge in the first place. So trade your time to find what your life is about, because that is one of your utmost duty as a human being, to know the reason why you are alive. And your gifts are linked to that reason that you are alive. God gifted you, and God created you for a particular purpose. And the moment you find that, you're able to use your time well, because then it separates you from all other noise. It separates you from all other engagements. You become focused. If you were Jesus and you came to die for mankind, then you will not go and become a fisherman all your life, because you know what you were going to do. And so every decision was towards that goal. So the same, if you are a business person and you believe that is what you are gifted to do and your life is about, then it can separate you from all other activities. Then you are not thinking of becoming a professor. You're not thinking of becoming a preacher. You're not thinking of becoming. This is what you think that you are going to do at this moment in your life. So you give it total attention, and that's why you trade your time. And that's why you become successful, because the moment you set that vision, you become focused, all attention is on it. And that's why when they focus the sun, you see, when we were in school, they did some experiment where they put some lens there and they focus the sun, they put some people around under it, and it's able to burn, because they were trying to compress the energy. And the more you compress your energy in a particular time, you get results. That's how you get results. So you cannot spread your energy everywhere when you have not succeeded in any one thing. And so you cannot say that I'm a business person, I'm a preacher, I'm a doctor. You are spreading yourself so much. You will not become anything in any of them. So you get to stay. Sorry. So you stay with one, Sorry, the network is not good, but I think I'm almost done with what I had in my heart. So you stay with one and get successful at what you have set to do. And then beyond that, you can build yourself. So you